Hello everybody, this is GeneralJannis with a new video on death card tactics. Today I'm going to be looking at the new rules, the updated rules for the Terrax Termite Assault Drill that was updated in the Imperial Armour Compendium. So let's take a look. So the Terrax-patern Termite Assault Drill is a Forge World dedicated transport unit and available for the death card army. In the previous video, I compared the assault drill with the previous rule in the Chaos Rhino, but now we have new rules for the assault drill. So the new rules in the Imperial Armour Compendium, I have gathered based on information posted from online pre-reviews that people have posted. So the assault drill has gotten updated stats, new weapon rules, and new point costs. There is still one quite big open point, and it's the question if the termite drill can really be used for the death card. There is some uncertainty right now, as the datasheet is only in the Chaos Space Marine section of the Imperial Armour Compendium, and in this datasheet it includes the Legion keyword, and it's unclear if we can get it for death card. The Greater Blight Drone that I reviewed is included in the death card part of the Imperial Compendium, but there is only one unit there, and it's the Greater Blight Drone. So hopefully we have to wait and see, and hopefully there will be an FAQ to say that, okay, Death Card or Thousand Suns or some other can also use these units. But I will not discuss more this in this video. I'll just look at the new rules and see what do they imply for the unit. So with no further ado, let's take a look at the changes. So if we look at the base stats and the weapons rules updated for the unit, here we have the previous rules for the Terrax Assault Drill. Previously the drill was, the point cost was from 136 points for the cheapest option up to 160. Now the lowest cost is 180 points, that's the standard cost, and you can upgrade it with some better weapons for 190 points. It's still unclear, some of the point costs were not covered in the review. It doesn't seem to have the point cost for the Flamer option. One other thing we can see is that the wounds characteristic of the model have been increased, previously going from 10 wounds up to 14 wounds. But we can see the attacks. Previously the assault drill had very nice attack characteristic of 6 attacks in the first bracket. Now the attacks are only 3, and there is no changes, let's say, in the abilities or the abilities of the unit. So basically the point cost have been increased. The unit has got more wounds but lower close combat attacks. If we now look at the weapons, the Terrax Assault Drill is equipped as a standard with a Melta Cutter, the Termite Drill, and the 2 combi bolters. If we start with the Melta Cutter, previously this weapon got a big upgrade, let's say, because previously it was an assault D3 weapon, but now it's a heavy 5 weapon, so you get many more shots with this Melta Cutter. And of course it got the new Melta ability that at half range the damage instead of D6 becomes D6 plus 2, as expected for all Melta guns in the game. But this is a significant increase in the number of attacks that this Melta can do, and it can do very good damage. The 12-inch range is also good when the assault drill comes up from subterranean assault. It should be able to find some targets to shoot the Melta Cutter into. Then if we look at the termite drill, the characteristics of the weapon and the strength and so on have not been changed, but the damage has been upgraded. Previously it was a straight 3 damage weapon, but now it's a D3 plus 3 damage weapon, so on average you would get 5 damage out of this weapon. And if it fights a vehicle, the damage becomes D3 plus 6, so you would be having on average 8 damage for this weapon. So previously the termite drill had some crazy rules where you can roll a lot of dice to create some extra mortal wounds, but this ability has been lost, let's say. So now it's easier. You have the straight damage, either D3 plus 3 or D3 plus 6. Then the combi bolter stays unchanged, and then we have the options for the assault drill is that it has 2 combi bolters, and it can substitute those for 2 Volkite chargers or 2 heavy flamers. And if we look at the Volkite charger, it costs per one you upgrade, it costs 5 points. Before it was more expensive to upgrade. So if you take the 2 Volkite chargers, you would have a point cost of 190 now. Previously it was 14 points more to take the 2. This weapon has gotten an increase in the range, 20-inch range shooting instead of previously 15. It's a strength 5, damage 2 weapon, but now it also has a new ability. So on a wound roll of 6 unmodified, it gives an additional 1 mortal wound. So this is of course a better weapon now and cheaper to upgrade. The heavy flamer option has not been updated, so basically it's apart from the range that the flamers have gone from 8-inch to 12 inches, but it's the same characteristic otherwise. But the compendium, as I saw the online previews, they didn't have a point cost for this upgrade, strangely enough. Alright, so after having looked at these new weapon rules and the base stats rules, let's look at the damage comparison with the old and the new rules. So if we start with the Melta Cutter, we can see the new is the orange line and the old profile was the blue line. Of course, you have now 5 attacks and previously D3 attacks, so on average you would be doing 2.5 times more the damage. So it's a significant improvement in the damage compared to the old rules. If we look at the Volkite chargers, also the new rules, they do more damage because now we are also adding mortal wounds on 6-2 wounds, which should give us, let's say, one or two wounds extra compared to the, let's say, 1 wound extra on average with the 8 attacks it has. And if we look at the Termite Drill, the melee weapon does lower damage versus non-vehicles, and previously it also had mortal wounds not shown here, but versus vehicles, the dotted line, it still does almost the same damage as the previous weapon. The previous weapon had less damage per attack, but the unit itself had more attacks. Now, if we compare the damage comparison for the old and the new weapon stats per 100 points, so because now the unit is also more expensive, we can see that we have improved the damage characteristics with ranged shooting per 100 points, and the Volkite charges are the best damage option. So here we see the old rules with the Stormbolter, the old rules with the Volkite chargers, and now we have the new rules with the bolters and the new rules with the Volkite charger. So basically it's the Melta Cutter doing the most increase of the damage, and of course the Volkite charger also does something. So quite a good increase even per 100 points of cost. But if we look at the melee damage per 100 points, we have still okay damage, but it's lower than it was before with a higher number of attacks and the additional mortal wounds. So some final thoughts and summary. So the Terrax Termite Assault Drill has gotten updated rules in the Imperial Armour Compendium. And now it's more expensive to use it to transport the 12 models now. Previously you could make the unit from 136 points to 150 points. Now it has increased to 180 the lower one and 190 if you take the Volkite chargers. The unit has got more wounds for more durability, but lower number of close combat attacks. The range damage has been increased per point due to the Melta Cutter having gotten better rules. So now it's a heavy 5 weapon instead of assault T3 weapon. The Volkite charger also got new rules with some bit longer range and can do mortal wounds now. And I think it's more clear that the Volkite chargers should be the better option now. It's only 10 points, but you could be doing mortal wounds and more damage than the standard bolter. So I would probably go for this configuration with assault drill. The melee weapon damage is increased, but the lower number of attacks of the unit and loss of the mortal wound rule reduce the damage output in melee. But still, the unit can do quite okay damage, especially versus other vehicles. And of course, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it's unclear right now if it can be used with death card units, but I hope this will be clarified with an FAQ soon. So with these words, this concludes the video. What do you think about the new rules for the Terrax Assault Drill? If you have some questions or comments, please leave a comment below. If you like this video, please press like, and you can also subscribe to my channel, where I will be posting more analysis and death card tactics videos going forward. So with these words, GeneralJannis is signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye bye.